ticking?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered if it was my computer.
I'm not quite sure what it is. I was going to say mine's going down again.
I don't hear the ticking.
Well, I don't hear it now.
Yeah, I think it stopped.
It's like somebody sending Morse code or something.
All right, Regina, are you all connected? Can you hear and be heard? Let me go back and check on Regina.
Well, I'll tell you what, Meg, while you're doing that, though, we need to make sure we give Julie enough time for what it is she has to present.
Yes, I think we can go ahead and get started, Mr. Chairman, if you're ready.
Commissioners, welcome to the work session. We have Ms. Chop to give us a work session on proposed casino development. Mr. Bowen?
Yes, sir.
Is Ms. Chop ready?
Yes, she is. Let me do about a 10-second introduction here, and then we'll let her get started.
Sure.
I think the planning commissioners are pretty familiar with the stuff, having gone through the two sets of zoning amendments. We did the original one, back in the fall, and then when we got into November with the revision of the zoning ordinance, the adoption of the new ordinance, and we had these provisions put in place. Deal with the casino. I think you're all probably aware we had to build from scratch because casinos have, of course, not been legal in Virginia, so we didn't have a lot to work from in terms of borrowing from other localities as we worked through the process of crafting this. And as you know, what we basically ended up with was the ability to do an overlay district. And since they're not that common, we wanted to make sure that we got a presentation to you today from Julie, kind of go over the way the overlay district works. Then, of course, you've got standard use permit applications, which you're all familiar with from the number of them you've seen. This will be a little bit different. I think because of the differences in the application, we're going to recommend for today, instead of sort of doing this all in one big presentation and then voting separately, that we treat each application independently. So we do the overlay district, we do the casino use permit, and then the hotel use permit as separate items. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Julie and let her walk through here. Be sure you ask any questions you might have, especially if there's any technical elements about the way the overlay district works. We want to make sure you're comfortable with that, because one of the provisions you have in your application today is going to be dealing with some sign modifications, which are allowed through the overlay district process. And so with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Julie.
Good afternoon, planning commissioners. This is Julie Chop, senior planner with the city of Portsmouth. During this work session, as Bob mentioned, we will provide additional details on the rezoning application Z2101. The rezoning application is a request to rezone approximately 56.916 acres on what is known as the Victory Village site. The city zoning ordinance was amended in 2020 to create a process and standards for an entertainment overlay district and to allow the casino gaming establishment use to be permitted with a use permit within the MUH zoning district and only within an established entertainment overlay district. On December 9th, 2020, the Victory Village property was rezoned from conditional mixed-use employment center to high-intensity mixed-use MUH as the first step in allowing the desired casino gaming use at this location. The applicant was named the city's preferred company to develop and operate a casino in the city, as permitted by recent gaming legislation enacted by the Virginia General Assembly and an approved local referendum during the November 3rd, 2020 election. The applicant is now seeking to rezone the Victory Village property to an entertainment overlay district within the MUH zoning district in furtherance of the Portsmouth Entertainment District Development Agreement between the EDA and Portsmouth Gaming Holdings to construct a casino, hotel, an entertainment venue with on-site restaurants, retail shopping, parking, and casino gaming facilities. An entertainment overlay district conceptual master plan was submitted with this application as required in the city's zoning ordinance to establish an entertainment overlay district. The master plan included a planning objective statement, and the applicant is proposing to include 56.92 acres in the entertainment overlay district as depicted on this slide. The master plan only includes details for the area designated for the casino gaming establishment, the full-service hotel, event center, and associated parking, which is the 38.74 acre area labeled as parcel C on this slide. The 2.02 acre out parcel A, the 2.69 acre out parcel B, and the 11 acre area east of Freedom Avenue are proposed to be a part of the entertainment overlay district, but will be developed later. The master plan will have to be amended to include the development plans for these areas. The approximately 80,000 square foot casino gaming establishment building is proposed for the northwest area of the site and includes 55,567 square feet of area dedicated to casino gaming uses and 1,890 gaming positions, a 20,000 square foot event center, and the remaining square footage dedicated to retail and dining. A 250 room full service hotel is proposed to be built at a later date on the western facade of the casino building adjacent to Victory Boulevard. Elevations were included with the for the proposed casino gaming establishment and the full service hotel. And I will go over those during the public hearing. The Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan included a conceptual parking plan that shows 2,055 parking spaces to serve the casino and associated uses. The parking plan exceeds the required parking for the proposed uses. A VDOT Chapter 527 traffic impact analysis was submitted, reviewed, and approved by VDOT as part of the previous Z-20-07 rezoning application. The report identified required off-site road improvements to support the proposed development, which have been included in the master plan. The EDA and the Portsmouth Gaming Holdings, LLC, have entered into a traffic infrastructure agreement to ensure that the necessary road improvements are completed. Compliance with these improvements is also included as a condition of the casino use permit. Due to the special characteristics of an entertainment overlay district, in particular a casino gaming establishment, processes were incorporated into the zoning standards to allow flexibility to accommodate their unique needs, especially in terms of signage and exterior lighting that would not typically be permitted in other areas of the city. The city understood from the inception of the plan for casino that this development would require modifications to city standards, and what is proposed by the applicant is in line with what was expected. An alternative exterior lighting plan was submitted as part of the master plan. The city zoning ordinance requires that illumination of outdoor seating areas, building entrances, and walkways be a minimum of 4 feet in height. The submitted master plan included a request to allow ground-mounted lighting fixtures illuminating outdoor seating areas in the casino gaming establishment and the hotel area to be a maximum of 16 feet in height. The zoning ordinance allows maximum illumination levels to be measured at the exterior boundaries of an entertainment overlay district rather than at the property boundaries within the entertainment overlay district. Upwardly directed lighting to illuminate structures and landscaping is also permitted within an entertainment overlay district, and awnings and canopies may be internally illuminated. In addition, an alternative signage plan was included as part of the Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan. The zoning ordinance allows off-premises signs within an entertainment overlay district. The applicant proposes the following signs for the project: 2 monument signs, 3 ground signs, 2 pylon signs, 6 roof signs, 1 awning sign, and 14 wall signs. The applicant is requesting several modifications to the zoning ordinance requirements for specific signage within the entertainment overlay district, including increasing the maximum sign area allowed on the casino and hotel buildings to 20% of all building facades facing a public street. The city's zoning ordinance allows a maximum total sign area per lot for attached and freestanding signs in the MUH zoning district to be a total of 10% of the area of the front building facade. The applicant is also requesting that all building facades for the casino and hotel facing a public street to have signage. The zoning ordinance typically restricts signage to the front building facade. The applicant is requesting a maximum of 2 ground signs and 1 pylon sign located on the same lot along Victory Boulevard. The zoning ordinance states that only 1 freestanding sign is allowed on a lot for each public street on which the lot has frontage. The zoning ordinance prohibits the use of animation, scrolling, and simulated movement for automatic changeable copy signs. However, the applicant is requesting a maximum of 14 wall signs with LED video screens with animation, scrolling, and simulated movement attached to the casino and hotel buildings only. 12 of the 14 wall signs wrap a corner and therefore are considered 2 signs. As indicated on this slide, where it says wall sign -2, those are each of the signs that wrap a corner and therefore are considered 2 signs. The zoning ordinance does not address pylon signs as they would not typically be permitted. The zoning ordinance allows signs to have no more than 2 faces. The applicant is requesting a maximum of 2 on-site or off-site pylon signs in the entertainment overlay district to be located at the corner of Victory Boulevard and Cavalier Boulevard, and another at the corner of Cavalier Boulevard and McLean Street, with a maximum height of 130 feet, a maximum of 3 sign faces, and a maximum sign display area of 12,100 square feet. Typically, roof signs are not permitted in any of the city zoning districts. The applicant is requesting a maximum of 5 roof signs. The zoning ordinance requires that awning and canopy signs not extend above the vertical face of the canopy or awning, and that the sign not be internally illuminated. The applicant is requesting 1 awning or canopy sign that is internally illuminated and that extends above the highest point where the awning attaches to the building. Pursuant to the Portsmouth Entertainment District Development Agreement, the applicant submitted a development phasing plan as part of the proposed Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan. Phase 1, as indicated with the blue line surrounding the area, or the purple line, excuse me. Phase 1 will include a casino gaming establishment, event center, miscellaneous casino-related amenities, restaurants, and surface parking. Phase 1 improvements also includes attached and freestanding permanent signage. The applicant plans to commence Phase 1 site work in the summer of 2021 and open to the public in fall of 2022. The development phasing plan states that Phase 2 will include a full-service hotel, as shown with the blue circle around the hotel. The Portsmouth Entertainment District Development Agreement does allow the hotel to be built at any time following the initial closing of Phase 1. The proposed rezoning to an entertainment overlay district is consistent with the city's Build One Portsmouth comprehensive plan. The requested modifications to specific signage and lighting is appropriate for the proposed use. The proposed rezoning would provide for the development of a vacant property and allow construction of compatible commercial development to the surrounding area. Staff has determined that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the surrounding area and the proposed development is an appropriate use of the property. I will now stand by for any questions that you have during this work session. Staff is available to clear up any questions you have.
Commissioners, are there any questions of Ms. Chop?
Julie, I have one question. And looking at the outlines, there's two out parcels that don't seem to fall into either of the phases. Are those right there, parcel A and B on the far right? Oh,
Yes, yes.
are those not part of the project, or is there a reason those are isolated like that?
So here, I'm gonna go to this slide because I think that it shows it a little better. Okay, so if you look at this slide, this part of the master plan only pertains to parcel C, this 38.74 acres. These two out parcels, whoever develops them will have to come back through this process and amend the master plan to add the development plan for those two parcels, as well as this area east of Freedom Avenue, this 11-acre parcel. So they'll have to come back when those plans are finalized.
So that land right now, those parcels, are they owned by the city?
The entire area is owned by the EDA, and I believe that the Brush Street Casino people are only purchasing parcel C, but Meg or Bob can correct me on that if that is incorrect.
And the basis of my questioning comes from the upkeep of those two parcels being so close to the parking lot and to the casino. Who would be responsible for that? And is that gonna, I just worry that sometimes we aren't on the same schedule with the city as the private sector with maintaining that section.
Yeah, if I could, this is Bob Baldwin. Let me sort of jump in here. So as Julie mentioned, the overall property out there that was subject to the earlier rezoning is not just the 38 acres for the casino, it was the entire Victory Village site. And it will all get wrapped into this overlay district. So it'll all be part of the entertainment overlay district. You may recall we went through the process of establishing the zoning. We've created processes both for making modifications inside of the entertainment overlay district. And you may also recall there was a process created for expansion of an overlay district. In this case, the overlay district is going to cover all of the property owned by the EDA. However, as Julie mentioned, when somebody comes in specifically to develop those parcels, they'll have to come back in and modify the overlay district to add in the specifics related to whatever the proposed development is on those out parcels. So at this point, our understanding is that the EDA does not have a specific land use proposed to go out there, and they will continue to be responsible for maintaining the property out there, and that we would anticipate at some future date, proposals being submitted from the EDA for development of those additional parcels.
Makes sense. Thank you, sir.
Commissioners, are there any additional questions of Ms. Chott? There appear to be none. Let me thank you, Ms. Chott, for the presentation. Mr. Baldwin, now we are now at about 1:20. Is there any additional items that we need to cover in this work session?
I don't believe so. We just mentioned one thing, though. I believe it's the last item on your agenda, the one for the PER use permit amendment. We've received a request from the applicants there for a 60-day deferral. And so we would definitely concur with their request. However, this has been advertised, so it's on your agenda. In fact, the request for the deferral came after the agenda package was prepared. You have a couple of options here as far as deferral. One would be if you would like to amend your agenda to move that item first on the agenda to go ahead and deal with the deferral so they don't have to wait through the rest. I just mentioned that if you agree to the deferral. We'd recommend you not open the public hearing, that we will re-advertise completely when they modify. And we come back, so we would basically be starting over, and that would be for your June Planning Commission meeting. The other option, of course, is just to leave the agenda as it is and get to that item when you get there. But I did want to note the applicants have requested a 60-day deferral.
Mr. Baldwin, which item is that?
I believe it's, that is UP 2108,
Okay,
the Paradise Creek Industrial Corridor application. Stephen Eric is the, listed
Right.
as the applicant for that one.
okay. So we have two options when we open the meeting. We can either amend the agenda to move it first or wait until it comes up last.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Is there anything else, Mr. Ball?
No, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, we will start promptly at 1:30. And Meg, I don't think we need to cut the system off, do we?
No, I just recommend everybody mute and turn their cameras off.
Yeah, we just
Come
mute.
back, in a few minutes before and start
Right.
back up.
If you just mute your microphones and mute your camera, and we'll come back at 1:30 promptly.
I would ask everybody who is not a commissioner and not scheduled to speak to please turn their cameras off until such time that you are going to speak. And then obviously keep yourself muted. Thank you.
It's currently 1:30, so we shall begin. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this very important meeting today, April 6, 2021, being held on the Microsoft Team platform via video conference. A very special welcome to Councilman Ms. Lucas Burke and Councilman Woodard. Please note that this meeting will be recorded and feature public comment. Commissioners are asked to mute their microphones when they're not speaking and to verbally identify themselves prior to making any comments. Madam Secretary. Regina, are you there? Meg, it appears that Regina is muted.
Stand by, Mr. Chairman.
We'll get going in just a moment.
Mr. Chairman, do you think we ought to take maybe a 5-minute recess while we see what's happening with her technology?
That seems reasonable. Why don't we take 5 minutes and return at 1:37?
Can't see if it's okay. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you,
We can
Regina.
hear you now.
Okay. My goodness gracious. I was going backwards. Technology is good when it's good, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, we got a Regina.
Yeah.
we,
When
we,
it is
we begin to show enough nervous now.
Dang. All right, Mr. Williamson. We're gonna wait for Bob and Nick to get back on.
Well, we said 1:37, so we'll just wait a minute and go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Matter of fact, what I'll do, Regina, is just simply start all over again.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Commissioners, it's currently 1:37, so we shall begin. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to this very important meeting today, Tuesday, April 6, 2021, being held in the Microsoft Teams platform via video conference. Please note that this meeting will be recorded and feature public comments. Commissioners are asked to mute their microphones when they're not speaking and to verbally identify yourself prior to making any comments. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, this is Regina Jackson, Planning and Zoning Coordinator. I will now confirm that all the planning commissioners are present and can hear me by calling the roll. Commissioners, when I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams.
Present.
Commissioner Youngblood.
Here.
Commissioner Thaxton.
Here.
Commissioner G.
Here.
Commissioner Coleman.
Here.
Commissioner Page.
Here.
Commissioner Barnes. I think Commissioner Page answered for Commissioner Barnes.
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Page is not here. Commissioner Barnes.
I'm here.
Okay. 6 members of the Planning Commission are present. This public meeting of Planning Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Northam's March 12, 2020 executive order due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth given the outbreak of COVID-19. A quorum of the commission is not physically present in the meeting location, but members have joined remotely. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you will find posted on the city's planning department webpage with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meetings. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will be recorded and feature public comment. Even if members of the public do not provide comment, participants are advised that people may be listening who do not provide comment, and those persons are not required to identify themselves. For this meeting, Planning Commission is convening by video conference via Microsoft Teams app as posted on the city's website, identifying how the public may join. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Williams, you're muted.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Thank you, Madam Secretary. Commissioners, before you are the minutes of the March 2nd, 2021 public hearing. Do any commissioners have any corrections or changes to the minutes? If so, please state your name before stating the changes. If there aren't any changes, we're in need of a motion and a second.
This is Sherry Thaxton. I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
This is Commissioner G. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the March the 2nd, 2021 public hearing. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood,
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton,
Yes.
Commissioner G,
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes.
Yes.
The minutes are approved by a vote of 6-0. Announcements of future meetings and conferences. Please note our next scheduled public hearing is Tuesday, May the 4th, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. The public hearing will be held in the Microsoft Teams via video conference. Items reviewed today will be presented to City Council for action at their May the 11th or May the 25th virtual meeting or as otherwise noted. We also ask that you mute your microphones when you are not speaking and to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments. Mr. Chairman, would you like to interject before I continue at this point?
Yes, I would, Madam Secretary. Commissioners, we heard from Mr. Baldwin that UP-21-08 will be requesting a deferral. It is the last on our agenda today, but we can't amend the agenda to make it first so those persons don't have to wait to hear the outcome. Commissioners, is there a motion to amend the agenda to move it first?
This is Commissioner G. I make the motion to move what was the number? UP-20.
21-8.
21-8 to the beginning of the agenda.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Sherry Thaxton, a second.
Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second to move item UP-21-08 to the first item on the agenda.
We have a motion and a second. As I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Youngblood,
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton,
Yes.
Commissioner G,
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes.
Yes.
This item will be moved to the first item on our agenda for this afternoon. Our first public hearing item is UP-21-08 Paradise Creek Industrial Corridor. Stephen E. Heretic, on behalf of PER Properties, is requesting to amend the use permit conditions from UP-15-05 at 3999 Veneer Road, formerly 3991 Elm Avenue, in the industrial IN zoning district to allow the operation of 2 self-contained enclosed cement mixers. The future land use map of the Build One Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan designates this property as heavy industrial. The property is owned by PER Properties, Inc., and is identified as tax map 387, parcel 10. The staff coordinator is Julie Chop. The applicant has requested a 60-day deferral of this application, which will be at our June the 2nd Planning Commission meeting. Mr. Chairman, we just need a motion to defer this item to the June 2nd Planning Commission meeting, and we will re-advertise at that time.
Commissioners, we are in need of a motion to defer UP-21-08 from our meeting today to our June, is it the June meeting?
Yes, sir. The June the 2nd.
to the June the 2nd meeting,
June 1st, my apologies, June 1st.
the June 1st meeting of the Planning Commission. Commissioners, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, this is Peter Youngblood. Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we defer UP 21-08 to our 1 June 2021 meeting.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Sherry Thaxton, I'll second the motion.
Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second to defer UP-21-08 to June 1st.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, a motion and a second. As I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood,
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton,
Yes.
Commissioner G,
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Barnes. I think we've lost Commissioner Barnes. Okay, let's just move forward. We have a 5-0. I'm not sure if we've lost Commissioner Barnes momentarily. So the item is approved by a vote of 5-0 to defer until our June the 1st Planning Commission meeting for the UP-21-08. Mr. Chair, okay. Now, our next item on the agenda is CBE-21-02 Sweetbriar. Patricia Williams requests a Chesapeake Bay exception for a rear deck addition at 5215 Sweetbriar Circle. The property is zoned General Residential GR and is further described as tax map 787, parcel 26. The Build One Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan recommends low to medium single-family residential development for the property. The staff coordinator is Stacy Porter. Will the staff coordinator for this application please come forward and present your application at this time?
Yes, good afternoon, Planning Commissioners. This is Stacy Porter, one of the senior planners in the Planning Department. To assist all of you, especially our newer commissioners, I wanted to provide some brief information. The city's Chesapeake Bay Preservation Area map classifies certain properties, typically those located adjacent to water bodies and wetlands, as resource protection areas. The applicant's property at 5215 Sweetbriar Circle is a property that is located in the resource protection area. As shown in this diagram, the resource protection area is composed of any wetlands, and that would be right here where I have that in blue, that are present on the shoreline, and a full 100-foot buffer of land. So that is that full 100-foot buffer here. The 100-foot buffer is split into a 50-foot wide landward area and a 50-foot wide seaward area, which is the area closest to your wetlands. As required by the local Chesapeake Bay ordinance, the Planning Commission reviews single-family home development within the seaward 50-foot buffer area, which is the case today. The Commission also reviews requests for all accessory structures within the entire 100-foot buffer, which will be discussed on another occasion. I'll now discuss the public hearing request for 5215 Sweetbriar Circle. The property was platted prior to October 1st, 1989, which was the inception date of our Chesapeake Bay ordinance. And that's kind of important to know because that allows the applicant the ability to request development within the resource protection area's 100-foot buffer. The property is approximately 13,000 square feet in size. and is 80% encompassed by that resource protection area. As you can see from the photo on the right in the slide, the property contains a one-story brick ranch-style home that is approximately 1,500 square feet in size, and it was built in 1961. Later in the presentation, I will show you the attached wood deck to be demolished and replaced. I'll now give you an overview of the surrounding area. Along the western shoreline of the property is the western branch of the Elizabeth River. To the northeast and south are single-family residential homes, all zoned general residential GR. And this is the photo I earlier mentioned. This is the rear deck, of which surrounds the home's sunroom. It is, according to the applicant, deteriorated and needs replacement. The property formerly contained an above-ground swimming pool that was adjacent to the deck, and it has since been removed. This is a site plan that was provided by the applicant, and I've highlighted using, and I guess it's an orange rectangle there, the approximate location of the new deck. The new deck will be 16 feet by 16 feet, and will have stairs on the water side. That will be a size of 4 feet by 4.5 feet. The former deck was about 80% within that seaward resource protection area buffer. The new deck will be approximately 60% within the seaward buffer. There was a water quality impact assessment for this new development required by our Chesapeake Bay Ordinance. And in order to meet that requirement, the applicant has proposed one planting unit. The required planting unit was one canopy tree, and she chose a weeping willow, 2 understory trees, and she chose a redbud and a dogwood, and 3 small shrubs, and she chose 3 wild hydrangea shrubs. The new plants will be placed as required within the resource protection area's 100-foot buffer. Staff finds that the resource protection area buffer encroachment and the land disturbance have been minimized, and the proposal provides the required mitigation for the land disturbance associated with the development. Therefore, we recommend the approval of the applicant's request along with the conditions listed in the staff report, and that concludes the presentation.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any questions of Ms. Porter. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions, but I do want to make a comment. It appears to me that what Ms. Williams is proposing is going to be a big improvement over what she has right now. There will be less of an encroachment into the 50-foot buffer than we currently have. And it looks to me like the proposed structure is going to be a whole lot more sound than what they're tearing down. This is an unusual property in that virtually all of her living space is within the 50-foot buffer. I mean, I find it hard to believe that she could even mow her grass without getting permission from somebody. So I think that what she's proposing is a pretty good idea. Thank you.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have none.
Commissioner G?
No questions, sir.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes, I do have one question of Ms. Porter. Ms. Porter, do you know if the deck that is being demolished, when it was constructed, or if there were permits for the original deck?
That's a great question. I think I'm going to have to defer to the applicant on that. So I can't pinpoint exactly when that deck was placed on the property. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, would you like?
Commissioner Barnes?
No questions.
Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the public hearing on item CBE-21-02. Citizens will be called upon to provide comments or questions and are asked to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments and to mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Will the applicant for CBE-21-02 please come forward to provide any additional information or comments? State your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak.
Yes, my name is Patricia Williams, and I reside at 5215 Sweetbriar Circle, Portsmouth, Virginia, and I am the applicant for this proposal today. In response to the question about when the existing deck was built or whether or not there was a permit, I really don't have an answer to that. The property was built in 1961, and it had one owner for the entire time until I purchased it in June of 2016, and the deck existed at that time.
Commissioners, I'm sorry. Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any questions for Ms. Williams. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have no questions.
Commissioner G? Commissioner G?
I have no questions.
Okay. Commissioner Coleman?
I have no further question. Thank you.
Commissioner Barnes? We may have lost Commissioner Barnes again. Let's move on. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item CBE-21-02. I have no registered speakers. If there is someone on the call who would like to address this application, you may do so at this time. If you would come forward, state your name and your address for the record. Please press *6 to unmute your mic, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, we are now in need of a motion for CBE-21-02 with conditions.
This is Commissioner G. I move for acceptance of CBE 21-02 with conditions.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
This is Peter Youngblood. Yes, I'll make a second to that.
Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second for CBE-21-02 with conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood?
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton?
Yes.
Commissioner G?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes?
Yes.
This item is approved by a vote of 6-0 with conditions. Our next item on the agenda, UP-21-04, Prentice Park. Robert C. Barclay IV, Esquire, on behalf of Safe Harbor Behavioral Health, LLC, requests a use permit for a residential drug and alcohol treatment facility at 1819 Elm Avenue. The property is zoned Neighborhood Mixed Use NMU and is further described as Tax Map 69, Parcel 18. The Build One Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan recommends mixed residential development. The staff coordinator is Stacy Porter. For the staff coordinator for this application, please come forward and present your application at this time.
Yes, good afternoon again. It's Stacy Porter, one of the senior planners with the Planning Department, and I'll provide a brief overview of the applicant's request. The applicant will utilize the former Lucas Lodge, a facility that offered residential care for mentally and physically challenged adult persons. The property contains a 17,000 square foot, one-story facility that was built in 1999. The facility is approximately 5,800 square feet in size. I'll now provide an overview of the surrounding area and area land uses and zoning. The property is surrounded to the north and east by mixed residential uses, zoned high density urban residential. To the south and west are a mix of mixed residential and a vacant commercial use. There is a mixture of zonings, including high density urban residential, neighborhood mixed use, and urban residential. This is the submitted site plan. This exhibit, as well as the floor plan, were included in the staff report. The new facility will be known as Safe Harbor Tactical Recovery and will be operated by Safe Harbor Behavioral Health, LLC, as a facility for veterans of the Armed Forces of the United States that require substance abuse rehabilitation. Incidentally, Safe Harbor currently operates a similar facility on London Boulevard. This particular facility on Elm Avenue will provide in-house care for up to 20 male residents, age 18 and up, obtained from the Veteran Administration's Community Care Network, or VACCN. Entrance into the program will be preceded with a thorough background evaluation, which screens out potentially violent and psychotic residents. Upon entry, residents will engage in a 12-step program designed for a 45 to 90-day residency, including individual and group therapy, as well as recreational activities. The facility will offer 24-hour client treatment with 6 staff members on the day shift, 4 staff members on the overnight shift, including administrative, counseling, medical, and dietitian staff. The security plan for the facility includes 24-hour awake staff supervision, hourly patient checks, hourly facility perimeter checks, locked and alarmed doors for every exterior doorway, and facility security cameras and video surveillance. No more than 2 visitor vehicles will be allowed at any time and only on Saturdays and Sundays. On this site plan, I've highlighted the available parking in yellow. The zoning ordinance requires 12 parking spaces for the facility. The property contains 9 on-site spaces, including a handicap space. Engineering has approved on-street parking on Lincoln Street to satisfy the remaining parking requirement, provided certain conditions are met, and those were outlined in your staff report. Staff finds that the reuse of an existing facility formerly housing a residential institutional use complies with recommendations of the comprehensive plan, which encourages the reuse of vacant properties and promotes the expansion of an existing Portsmouth business. With the conditions proposed, staff recommends the approval of the applicant's request. And that concludes the presentation.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any questions for Ms. Porter. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Porter, did you get any feedback from any of the neighbors?
I didn't get any feedback on this one.
How about from the 2 civic leagues that we've got the Brighton Prentice Park Civic League and the Prentice Place Civic League? Any comments from them?
No comments.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yay.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have none at this time.
Commissioner G?
No questions.
Commissioner Coleman?
No questions.
Commissioner Barnes,
No questions.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the public hearing on item UP-21-04. Citizens will be called upon to provide comments or questions and are asked to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments and to mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Will the applicant for UP-21-04 come forward to provide any additional information or comments? State your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is Robert Barclay. I am the attorney for the applicant, Safe Harbor Behavioral Health, and my business address is 200 High Street, Suite 500, Portsmouth, Virginia 23705. Safe Harbor Behavioral Health is a national company engaged in helping people recover from substance abuse issues. As the staff planner stated, they do have an existing facility in Portsmouth located at 2700 London Boulevard, and they have a trained staff there, and they have extensive experience in handling these matters. The facility that we've asked the use permit for is an ideal facility for this use, in that it's really not a significant change in the prior use of the facility. Previously, it was an inpatient facility for adult developmentally disabled persons who were treated in a residential setting. So the building is pretty much already laid out and set up for exactly this sort of inpatient use. This facility, unlike the facility on 2700 London Boulevard, will be specifically for veterans, and there's a tremendous need in the Hampton Roads area for this sort of thing within the veteran community. The applicant has actually met with the Brighton Prentice Park Civic League on 2 occasions over the last 2 months and provided a great deal of input to them. And I believe we've explained the issues they had as best we could. What I'd like to do now is turn this over to Tim Webb, who is the regional manager for Safe Harbor, and he can talk to you further about the details of how this facility will operate. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Tim Webb. I'm the CEO of Safe Harbor Behavioral Healthcare here in Portsmouth, located at 2700 London Boulevard in Portsmouth, 23704. As Mr. Barclay said, we've been open now since March of 2019. We began with 26 beds of residential treatment for adults with addictive disease. We provide strictly the residential treatment component. We don't provide any detox services, so all of our folks either don't require detox from the particular substance they were using, or they have detox prior to coming to us. There's, as most of you may know, a tremendous need in Hampton Roads and across the state of Virginia for these services. Our 26 beds were full very, very quickly. Despite the COVID pandemic, the Department of Behavioral Health and Human Services granted us an additional 4 beds at our London site during COVID. During that time, we were fortunate enough to be able to begin serving veterans. About half our population is veterans, and we'd like to be able to expand that to do a special program for them over on Elm, and that will then allow us to bring more community-based patients in at London. Our program currently at London is a 28 to 30-day program. With our veterans, we're looking at 45 to 90 days, depending upon what they need therapeutically. They'll get a clinical group daily led by a certified substance abuse counselor. They'll have 12-step groups daily. They'll have a number of sober living groups, medication education groups. We will keep them busy throughout the entire day. Everybody sees our physician, Eric Jones, within 24 hours of admission. They get individual therapy weekly, family therapy as often as they and their family show the need for that, comprehensive discharge planning. and treatment planning. We will have 16 to 24-hour-a-day nursing staff on site. We'll have 24-hour-a-day staff there awake. We'll always have at least 2 in the building. Most of the time, there will be 3 or 4 folks in the building staff-wise. All of the doors are locked from the outside so that you can't get in unless staff let you in. All of the doors are alarmed so that if someone were to leave in the middle of the night, those alarms would go off. We plan to use video surveillance on the exterior as well as additional lighting to ensure safety and security. As Mr. Barclay mentioned, I've met twice now with the Brighton Prentice Park Civic League, explained to them what we want to do. We ran into no significant concerns. The only couple of questions came up related to how we would ensure our folks did not access substances while in care.
That's 5 minutes, Mr. Chairman. That's 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do you want me to stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on right there, Mr. Webb. Let me ask, commissioners, do you have any additional questions for Mr. Barkley or Mr. Webb? I'll call each of your names. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have none.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have none.
Commissioner G?
I do not have any questions.
Commissioner Coleman?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Barnes?
I have one.
Okay.
Okay. Can you tell me what exactly, well, before you got cut off, what was the concerns that the Civic League had?
Yes, ma'am. There were 2 questions. It wasn't as much concerns as it was questions. One was how we're going to ensure that our folks don't actually get drugs while they're there. And that's a number of things. One, again, the 24-hour-a-day awake staff. 2, the doors all being locked on the exterior, and then alarms should someone go out. At the video surveillance, we plan to work very, very closely with the neighborhood and certainly cooperate with law enforcement should they have questions for us. The other question was, because there are a number of folks in that community who have their own substance issues, what would we be able to do for them, since what we're going to treat there is all veterans? So should we have somebody walk up and ask for services, that's where we would then get them referred over to our London Boulevard site or to our Queen Street site. We're also separately looking to open an outpatient center on Queen Street directly across from Maryview Hospital. So by opening up these beds at Elm, we then give ourselves the opportunity to do more community-based work both at London and at Queen.
Commissioner Barnes, does that answer your question? Commissioner Barnes? Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item UP-21-04. If there is someone on the call who would like to address this application, you may do so at this time. If you would come forward, state your name and your address for the record, press *6 to unmute your mic, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, is there any further discussion on UP-21-04? If there are none, we are in need of a motion and a second. Commissioners, before making a motion, please identify yourself.
Sherry Thaxton, I'd like to make a motion to approve UP-21-04 with conditions.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
This is Peter Youngblood. Yes, I second that.
Madam Secretary, we have a commission to approve UP-21-04 with conditions and a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion and a second to approve 21-04. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood,
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton,
Yes.
Commissioner G,
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes.
Yes.
This item is approved by a vote of 6-0 with conditions. Our next item, UP-21-05, George Washington Highway, Commercial Corridor. Wayne Cummings requests a use permit for a light manufacturing business consisting of a metal fabrication shop and warehouse at 3409 George Washington Highway. The property is zoned General Mixed Use GMU and is further described as Tax Map 385, Parcel 3. The Bill 1 Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan recommends commercial development. Staff Coordinator Stacy Porter. Will the staff coordinator for this application please come forward and present your application at this time?
Had to unmute myself, sorry. Again, good afternoon. This is Stacy Porter, one of the senior planners in the planning department, and I'll provide an overview of the applicant's request. The applicant's property is 2.2 acres in size and contains two metal Butler buildings constructed in 1984 that are currently utilized for retail tenants. The larger of the two buildings, known as George Washington Mini Mall, will be refurbished to accommodate the proposed light manufacturing business. And the smaller building will remain as is. I'll now provide an overview of the surrounding area land uses and zoning. To the northeast is the Brinkley Trailer Court Housing Development, zoned heavy industrial IN. To the southeast is the U.S. Naval Shipyard Scotts Creek's annexed property, zoned conservation. And we just want to point out that the city would have no zoning authority over federal property. Just want to point that out. To the southwest are adult entertainment establishment zone general mixed use GMU. And to the northwest is a Family Dollar store, a vacant commercial structure, and a wholesale vehicle sales establishment zone heavy industrial IN. And this is a site plan for the proposal. As you may have noted, the Andrew Street right-of-way, also known as Bellport Avenue on the plan, which serves as ingress egress for the adjacent U.S. Navy property and intersects with the applicant's property right at the top corner, will remain as is. The proposed use will not affect this access road for the Navy. On this plan, I've outlined in red the structure to be utilized for the light industrial manufacturing business. The building will be refurbished to include administrative offices, a fabrication shop, and a warehouse space. The site would also accommodate a 10-foot by 15-foot concrete paved canopied outdoor storage area to the rear of the building. The business will be known as JRF Ship Repairs, LLC. And this is also an existing business in Portsmouth that employs up to 130 persons. This particular location here on George Washington Highway would employ 10 persons. Site operations would include the design and fabrication of small metal berthing tables, cabinets, and other ship components for the U.S. Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, commercial and privately owned cargo ships, along with tugboats and barges operating in Hampton Roads waterways. The business will operate Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and will be closed on the weekends and the holidays. The existing parking areas, which I've highlighted in blue, will be landscaped and expanded to accommodate parking for employees, patrons, and truck deliveries. The zoning ordinance requires 5 employee parking spaces for the proposed business, of which will be accommodated amongst existing on-site spaces. The next slide provides the site access plan, which includes truck delivery access. This is the site access plan that was provided by the applicant. Employee and customer vehicles will access the site from 1 or 2 curb cuts on George Washington Highway, and I'll just circle those for you all. All right, and they'll be able to access the parking right in front of those 2 Butler buildings. The employee parking will also be offered in the rear of the structure as well. Truck deliveries will be accommodated within the curb cut nearest the southern boundary of the property, and that would be this curb cut down here. Truck deliveries are anticipated 2 to 3 times per month. Large trucks ranging in size from a 20-ton flatbed to a 52-foot tractor trailer would be accommodated in the parking area at the rear of the property. The ingress-egress path for trucks would be directly from George Washington Highway onto the property through the security gate. Staff finds that the proposal complies with the comprehensive plan's recommendation for commercial use of the property and is in compliance with its location within a mixed-use corridor. Further, the proposal complies with the plan's recommendation to retain and expand existing Portsmouth businesses. With the conditions proposed, staff recommends the approval of the applicant's request, and that concludes the presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Porter. Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any questions of Ms. Porter. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have none.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have none.
Commissioner G?
I don't have any either.
Commissioner Coleman?
I do not have any.
Commissioner Bonds?
Just one.
Yes.
Will that little mini mall still be intact, or are they getting rid of it?
Okay, that's a good question. They are reusing the building. They will refurbish it.
Oh.
And the applicant probably could give you more details about all of what they're going to do to the exterior, but they are replacing the metal of the building, but they're going to refurbish it.
Oh. So will those, like, I guess the little stores that's inside, will those still be there?
No, that building will be fully used for the new business.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Madam Secretary?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the public hearing on item UP-21-05. Citizens will be called upon to provide comments or questions and are asked to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments and to mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Will the applicant for UP-21-05 come forward to provide any additional information or comments? State your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak.
Mr. Cummins, if you're dialed in, you might have to press *6 on your phone to unmute.
Yes, Council. Thank you very much. Appreciate your hearing our proposal. I am Wayne Cummins, resided at 660 Mount Vernon Avenue, Portsmouth, Virginia, 23707, with JRF Ship Repairs. Our current proposal is to consolidate where our current location is over on Mount Vernon and consolidate our assets into the one facility here at the 3809 George Washington Avenue. We would take this building, refurbish it, put some new sheet metal on the outside. This building per se would be reutilized just for our admin, warehousing, and structure facility. The second building, which currently resides a restaurant, barber shop, and some other retail shops, those would stay in place, and it would still be a retail facility. As previously stated, we are a small business here in the Portsmouth area, minority-owned, woman-owned. We have 130 current employees, and we would extend this opportunity. This building would allow us to grow our employee base, but the facility itself would only house about 10 employees, where the rest of the employees are in the multiple shipyards throughout the Hampton Roads area. We would definitely want to improve the structure, the face value of the structure, and then in putting some other things in the rear of the building to allow for our access in and out of the building without impacting the street traffic and without impacting the Navy base behind us. At this time, I have really nothing else to add. Open to any questions from the committee.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if any of you have any questions of Mr. Cummings. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood.
I have none, thank you.
Commissioner Thaxton.
I have none.
Commissioner G.
Only question I have for you, Mr. Cummings, when you said about the exterior, are you guys just replacing the metal, or are you guys refinishing it with a different material?
Yes, sir. We're going to reface it with it's a composite metal material that actually looks like stone. That's what we're trying to pitch with our contractor and architect. So it'll have that nice administrative look and not just a metal building. We're going for a two-tone light gray, dark gray with some reds and blues to try to give it some color. But we're looking to reskin the entire building.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Coleman.
I have no questions.
Commissioner Barnes.
No questions.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item UP-21-05. If there is someone on the line who would like to address this application, you may do so at this time. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, is there any more discussion on UP 21-05? If there aren't, we are in need of a motion and a second. Commissioners, before making a motion, please identify yourself. And of course, Ms. Porter, before we get to that point, did this item have any conditions?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so we're identifying UP-21-05 with conditions. Is there a motion?
This is Peter Youngblood. Yes, I make a motion that we approve UP-21-05 with conditions.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Commissioner G, I second.
Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second to approve UP-21-05 with conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motioned and second to approve UP-21-05. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood?
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton?
Yes.
Commissioner G?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes?
No.
This item is approved by a vote of 5-0. Let me rephrase that. UP-21-05 is approved by a vote of 5-0 with conditions.
I
Point of order.
I believe Commissioner Barnes voted no.
She voted no, so I said, I said 5-0, I meant 5-1.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next item, Z-21-01, Victory Village. Stephen R. Romine, on behalf of the Economic Development Authority, is requesting to rezone approximately 56.916 acres at 3560 Victory Boulevard, 0 Campus Drive, 0 Victory Boulevard, 0 Victory Village Way, 111 Campus Drive, 0 Freedom Avenue, 271 Freedom Avenue, 175 Freedom Avenue, and 3606 Victory Boulevard to an entertainment overlay district within the high intensity mixed use MUH zoning district. The future land use map of the Build One Portsmouth Comprehensive Plan designates this property for mixed-use employment. The property is owned by the Economic Development Authority and is further described as tax map 524, parcel 1.2, parcel 1.9, parcel 2.1, parcel 2.2, parcel 2.3, parcel 2.4, parcel 2.5, parcel 2.6, parcel 2.7, parcel 2.8, parcel 3, parcel 3.4, and parcel 3.5. The staff coordinator is Julie Chop. The staff coordinator for this application, please come forward and present your application at this time.
Good afternoon, Planning Commissioners. This is Julie Chop, Senior Planner with the City of Portsmouth. There are 3 related applications on today's agenda. I will discuss the 2 use permit applications for this property in separate presentations. This rezoning application is a request to rezone approximately 56.916 acres on what is known as the Victory Village site, located east of Victory Boulevard, north of Greenwood Drive, west of McLean Street, and south of Interstate 264. The city's zoning ordinance was amended in 2020 to create a process and standards for an entertainment overlay district and to allow the casino gaming establishment use to be permitted with a use permit within the MUH zoning district and only within an established entertainment overlay district. On December 9th, 2020, the Victory Village property was rezoned from Conditional Mixed Use Employment Center, MX EMPK, to High Intensity Mixed Use, MUH, as the first step in allowing the desired casino gaming use at this location. The applicant, a national developer of casino projects, was named the city's preferred company to develop and operate a casino in the city, as permitted by recent gaming legislation enacted by the Virginia General Assembly and an approved local referendum during the November 3rd, 2020 election. The applicant is now seeking to rezone the Victory Village property to an entertainment overlay district within the MUH zoning district in furtherance of the Portsmouth Entertainment District Development Agreement between the EDA and Portsmouth Gaming Holdings LLC, an affiliate of Rush Street Gaming, to construct a casino, hotel, and entertainment venue with on-site restaurants, retail shopping, parking, and casino gaming facilities. The property is designated on the future land use map of the comprehensive plan as mixed-use employment. The Tidewater Community College campus is located directly east of the Victory Village area and is zoned mixed-use employment center. The Newport residential community, a mix of multifamily, townhouses, and single-family detached dwellings, is located to the south of the subject site. The Newport neighborhood is zoned conditional urban residential. The Newport neighborhood is zoned conditional multifamily urban residential. Excuse me. The Victory Crossing Shopping Center contains 6 outparcels along Victory Boulevard on the northwest side of I-264 and the Victory Village site. The Victory Crossing Shopping Center is zoned general mixed use. The Victory Crossing HRT Bus Transfer Center is also located northwest of the site along Cavalier Boulevard. A mix of commercial uses along Victory Boulevard, Zone GMU, are located to the west of the site. An entertainment overlay district conceptual master plan was submitted with this application as required in the city zoning ordinance to establish an entertainment overlay district. The master plan included a planning objective statement to develop a successful world-class casino and event center within a thriving entertainment overlay district that benefits the entire community. The applicant is proposing to include 56.92 acres in the entertainment overlay district as depicted on this slide. The master plan only includes details for the area designated for the casino gaming establishment, full service hotel, event center, and associated parking, which is the 38.74 acre area labeled as parcel C on this slide. The 2.02 acre out parcel A and the 2.69 acre out parcel B, as well as the 11 acre area west of Freedom Avenue, are proposed to be a part of the entertainment overlay district, but will be developed later. The master plan will have to be amended to include the development plans for these areas. The approximately 80,000 square foot casino gaming establishment building is proposed for the northwest area of the site and includes 55,567 square feet of area dedicated to casino gaming uses with 1,890 gaming positions, a 20,000 square foot event center, and remaining square footage dedicated to retail and dining. The casino building will contain an event center with a 42,000 square foot attached event lawn area for a total event area of 62,000 square feet. The event lawn is adjacent to the stormwater management lake, which is approximately 4.7 acres. A 250 room full service hotel is proposed to be built at a later date on the western facade of the casino building adjacent to Victory Boulevard. Elevations with proposed materials for the proposed casino gaming establishment and the full service hotel were included in the entertainment overlay district master plan. The proposed materials include limestone veneer, a variety of colored metal panels, and a variety of colored glass for both structures. This slide shows the south elevation facing Victory Boulevard and the east elevation facing the parking area. This slide shows the north elevation facing Cavalier Boulevard and the west elevation facing the stormwater management lake. The Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan included a conceptual parking plan that shows 2,055 parking spaces to serve the casino and associated uses, including 183 valet parking spaces, 342 employee spaces, 11 rideshare spaces, and 1,509 surface parking spaces in 3 lots. The provided parking exceeds the required parking for the proposed uses. The master plan also includes a landscaping plan that will be reviewed for compliance during the site plan review process. A VDOT Chapter 527 traffic impact analysis was submitted, reviewed, and approved by VDOT as part of the previous Z-20-07 rezoning. The report identified required off-site road improvements to support the proposed development, which have been included in the Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan. The EDA and Portsmouth Gaming Holdings, LLC, have entered into a traffic infrastructure agreement to ensure that the necessary road improvements are completed. Compliance with these improvements is included as a condition of the casino use permit approval. Due to the special characteristics of an entertainment overlay district, in particular a casino gaming establishment, processes were incorporated into the zoning standards to allow flexibility to accommodate their unique needs, especially in terms of signage and exterior lighting that would typically not be permitted in other areas of the city. The city understood from the inception of the plan for a casino that this development would require modifications to city standards, and what is proposed by the applicant is in line with what was expected. An alternative exterior lighting plan was submitted as part of the master plan. The submitted master plan included a request to allow ground-mounted lighting fixtures illuminating outdoor seating areas in the casino, gaming establishment, and hotel area to be a maximum of 16 feet in height. The zoning ordinance allows maximum illumination levels to be measured at the exterior boundaries of an entertainment overlay district rather than at the property boundaries. Upwardly directed lighting to illuminate structures and landscaping is also permitted within an entertainment overlay district, and awnings and canopies may be internally illuminated. In addition, an alternative signage plan was included as part of the Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan. The zoning ordinance allows off-premises signs within an entertainment overlay district. The applicant proposes the following signs for the project: 2 monument signs, 3 ground signs, 2 pylon signs, 6 roof signs, 1 awning sign, and 14 wall signs. The applicant is requesting several modifications to the zoning ordinance requirements for specific signage within the entertainment overlay district, including to increase the maximum sign area allowed on the casino and hotel buildings to 20% of all building facades facing a public street. The applicant has asked to allow all building facades for the casino and hotel facing a public street to have signage. The applicant has asked to allow a maximum of 2 ground signs and 1 pylon sign located on the same lot along Victory Boulevard. The zoning ordinance prohibits the use of animation, scrolling, and simulated movement for automatic changeable copy signs. However, the applicant is requesting a maximum of 14 wall signs with LED video screens with animation, scrolling, and/or simulated movement attached to the casino and hotel buildings only. 12 of the 14 wall signs wrap a corner and therefore are considered 2 signs. The applicant is requesting a maximum of 2 on-site or off-site or two on-site or off-premises pylon signs in the Entertainment Overlay District to be located at the corner of Victory Boulevard and Cavalier Boulevard, and another at the corner of Cavalier Boulevard and McLean Street, with a maximum of 130 feet, a maximum of 3 sign faces, and a maximum sign display area of 12,100 square feet. The applicant is requesting a maximum of 5 roof signs, and the applicant is also requesting 1 awning or canopy sign that is internally illuminated and that extends above the highest point where the awning attaches to the building. Pursuant to the Portsmouth Entertainment District Development Agreement, the applicant submitted a development phasing plan as part of the proposed Entertainment Overlay District Master Plan. Phase 1 will include a casino gaming establishment, event center, miscellaneous casino-related amenities, restaurants, and surface parking. Phase 1 improvements also include attached and freestanding permanent signage. The applicant plans to commence Phase 1 site work in the summer of 2021 and open to the public in fall of 2022. The development phasing plan states that Phase 2 will include a full-service hotel. The Portsmouth Entertainment District Development Agreement does allow the hotel to be built at any time following the initial closing of Phase 1. The proposed rezoning to an entertainment overlay district is consistent with the city's Build One Portsmouth comprehensive plan. The requested modifications to specific signage and lighting is appropriate for the proposed use. The proposed rezoning would provide for the development of a vacant property and allow construction of compatible commercial development to the surrounding area. Staff has determined that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the surrounding area and the proposed development is an appropriate use of the property. This concludes my presentation and I will stand by for any questions.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any additional questions of Ms. Sharp. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have no questions.
Commissioner G?
Only question I have is regarding the body of water. Does that require anything special? I don't think we've ever dealt with another request that has something like that in the mock-ups at least.
Well, the lake serves as the development's stormwater management. So it will have to comply with all of the engineering requirements, but I don't believe planning has any specific regulations pertaining to that stormwater management lake.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Commissioner Coleman?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Barnes?
Yes, I have a question. As far as the entertainment district is concerned, I was wondering, will the casino developers be responsible for that, or will the city of Portsmouth be responsible? I heard just something about the entertainment district part.
Yes. Okay. So could you repeat the question? Who is responsible for which part?
Will the casino developers, will they be responsible for the infrastructure?
Yes. The applicant is also the developer for the casino, so they'll be in charge, or they'll be required to comply with the adopted master plan for the entertainment overlay district.
Okay. And you happen to know when, like, the phase 1 and 2 begin? When it start?
Yes. Phase 1 is proposed or is planned to commence the site work in the summer of 2021, and they hope to open to the public in fall of 2022. So that is contingent upon requiring all of the necessary permits and approvals for all of that.
Okay. And just, well, one last question, I just thought about it. Does the city recruit the businesses, or do we recruit for the entertainment district?
Well, right now, those out parcels that do not have a development plan yet are owned by the EDA. So I'm sure that they're in the process of recruiting development for that area, as well as, them developments seeking, to build in that area as well. So.
Okay.
Right, but that would be the role of the Economic Development Council, not the Planning Commission.
Okay.
Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the public hearing on item Z-21-01. Citizens will be called upon to provide comment or questions and are asked to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments and to mute your microphones when you're not speaking. Will the applicant for Z-21-01 come forward to provide any additional information or comments? Please state your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak.
Good afternoon, Chairman Williams and members of the Planning Commission. For the record, I'm Steve Romine, local attorney with an address at 999 Waterside Drive, Norfolk. I represent Portsmouth Gaming Holdings, an affiliate of Rush Street, and I'm also here on behalf of the EDA. I also have with me today Mike Tobin, Randy Royal, and other team members who may be able to address questions as well. I want to first off thank Julie Chop and the planning staff for their assistance and the excellent presentation. I'll only have 5 minutes, so I'll try to be brief. First of all, I wanted to refer the planning commissioners to the slide deck that I provided to you yesterday, just as an initial comment. In that slide deck, we said there's something for everyone at this entertainment district, and we really believe that. We also believe that this project will provide a great place to work, a strong economic engine, a proud community partner, and a great place to play. And I'll finish my presentation on the third use permit with a little more detail on those aspects. But very briefly, this first request is to rezone approximately 56.916 acres of property adjacent to the east of Victory Boulevard and south of I-264, as described in the staff report. This rezoning is essentially the master plan for the entertainment district in this region. As you may recall, Planning Commission and City Council approved the rezoning of this property to MUH and adopted the entertainment district zoning in contemplation of the establishment of this project. This application is consistent with the comprehensive plan and designates this area for mixed-use employment. The staff report also indicates that it meets the goal of expanding economic opportunity. This development is allowed within the MUH district zone. Staff has also determined the development is compatible with the surrounding land uses. The entertainment district also complies with a 25-acre minimum district size. Julie gave you a complete history in the staff report, so I'm not going to be redundant, but I'm going to hit a few highlights. As you recall, the city zoning ordinance was amended in September last year to permit the establishment of the entertainment overlay district and to allow casino gaming by a use permit. On November 3, the referendum was passed by 2/3 of the votes of the citizens of Portsmouth. On December 9th, we got approval from City Council on the 56.19 acres and rezoned that to the MUH zone. Portsmouth Gaming Holdings is currently working with the state lottery to have a license issued. Today, we're seeking your recommendation to rezone the property to an entertainment district overlay district in furtherance of the development agreement between the EDA and Portsmouth Gaming Holdings in order to construct a casino, a hotel, an entertainment venue to include on-site restaurants, retail shopping, parking, and casino gaming. The goal, as Julie indicated, is to develop a successful world-class casino and event center, a destination. The current master plan includes Parcel C, which is 38.74 acres. The future expansion area has been indicated as Parcel A and B and the 11 acres east of Freedom that can be included in the district in the future. The details of the casino and the hotel will be discussed on the next two use permit applications. As part of this rezoning request, we did a VDOT 527 plan, which was submitted to address road improvements and was approved by VDOT as part of zoning case 2007 last year. Portsmouth Gaming Holdings and the Economic Development Authority have entered into an infrastructure agreement to ensure road improvements are made. As indicated by Julie, this district provides some flexibility. And you'll see in the packet that we've applied for two alternatives. An alternative sign plan is in the request, and an alternative lighting plan is in the packet as well. And they're very detailed. I will not go into them specifically. I think she already really has covered that. Also, we're requesting a phasing plan. The phasing plan covers the first phase would be the casino project, an event center, parking, and restaurants. The second phase, as indicated on the slide in front of you, would be the full service hotel. And we're going to get into more detail on both of those applications on the next two cases. As indicated by Julie, the 4.7 acre BMP is being relocated to the northwest corner of the property and will be an event feature. Let me make one statement about the square footage. The square footage of the casino and the hotel project overall is going to be approximately 250,000 square feet for the casino and north of 150,000 for the hotel project. So overall, this project is going to be close to 400,000 square feet in development. And that's going to include the
That's
casino.
5 minutes, Mr. Chairman. That's
Okay,
5 minutes.
the casino gaming floor, the hotel, and other aspects. I'll reserve future comments in the other applications, and I ask that you recommend approval of this case Z21-01. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll stand by for questions.
Sure. Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any questions for Mr. Romaine. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have no questions.
Commissioner G?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Coleman?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Barnes?
Just one. So, I mean, I just need to be clear about phase 2. When will that be started? Just for clarification.
Does staff want to answer it? You want me to answer that, Mr. Chairman?
Julie, can you answer that?
I will defer to the applicant on that
Okay.
question.
Mr. Romaine?
Yeah, so we have that in the use permit part of the application, Mr. Williams, Chairman Williams. Essentially, there is an agreement in the development agreement that triggers the time in which the hotel would be constructed. And there will be a hotel on the site. We're applying today for that use permit for the hotel. The time in which that would be constructed is to be determined by virtue of our agreements with the EDA. So there is a 6-year term on that use permit that's part of the conditions. That's what's in the plan.
Ms. Barnes, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item Z-21-01. I do have several speakers on the item. As I call your name, would you please come forward, and you will have up to 5 minutes to speak. Our first speaker is Dr. Marcia Constant.
Good afternoon. I'm Marcia Constant, president of Tidewater Community College. As president of Tidewater Community College, I speak today to offer my support of the rezoning for the entertainment district in Portsmouth. This is an excellent opportunity for the citizens of this community. It is our hope that you will approve the rezoning application. The casino will have a positive impact on the community. More jobs, increased tax revenue, expanded community partnerships, all of which would attract even more development and opportunities in this area. At Tidewater Community College, we stand ready to provide the academic and workforce training needed to serve this community. We have a number of programs in place to meet the workforce demands that we anticipate this area will generate. And this includes skilled labor programs such as welding or construction management, and as well as our academic programs such as culinary arts and gaming and so many others. The college's close proximity to the casino will serve to facilitate not only our academic and workforce needs, but also to offer a place to provide job fairs and other types of community engagement. And I will tell you that the college staff has been engaged with the planning team for the casino and this big project from day one. And we look forward to continuing a strong relationship on behalf of our citizens in Portsmouth. So thank you for your positive decision to rezone the site in support of the entertainment district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sean Avery.
Good afternoon, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Sean Avery. I'm the president of the Hampton Roads Workforce Council, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today about this project. I wanted to share my thoughts on the economic importance of the Portsmouth Casino project and its continued efforts to move forward. The Workforce Council has been following closely and working closely with the city on the opportunities that the casino will bring to the city and the region. From the 1,300 plus permanent jobs to the 100 plus construction jobs for Portsmouth residents, to tax revenue to support Portsmouth schools, and to the potential efforts to spur further economic growth, this project is very important. The Workforce Council offers our support for this rezoning, and we look forward to continuing to work with the city and our other partners such as Tidewater Community College as this Portsmouth Casino project moves forward. We hope you will approve the rezoning today, and we look forward to, again, continuing to work with the city of Portsmouth in this important effort to help grow our regional economy. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Avery. Our next speaker is Randy Royale. You have up to 5 minutes to speak.
I'm the engineer for the project, and I am here simply to answer questions. And I'll briefly state for the question about the pond there at the back that, yes, that is for water quantity and quality. We will need permits from the city, not from Planning Commission, but from engineering, from DEQ. And also I want to point out that it will be very aesthetically pleasing, lots of landscaping. It'll be a nice looking facility and it will be safe. That's all I have unless there's other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a brief question for Mr. Royal. As he opened the door, I asked this question during our public work session. There's a couple of spots that aren't included in your plan. Will you all be landscaping those prior to that? I believe there's 2 parcels to the, I believe it's the east of the property.
Yes, we heard you in the work session. Yes, those are out parcels that we are not taking down at this time. The intention, though, is to clear them, landscape them, maintain them. They're not going to let that area grow up. That may be a further expansion of this project, or somebody else may come in, but they absolutely will be maintained. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I actually live right there, so I run down that street. So that was the basis of my concern. So thank you.
Well, then, while I have you briefly, if I can take another minute, we're going to provide you a new bike path along McLean also. Right now, your bike paths are right beside the vehicles. We're going to do a bike path off of the asphalt, a 10-foot multi-purpose path separated from the curb, so it will be much safer.
Great information. Lead with that next time.
Yes, sir.
I get my tires fixed on my bike now. So thank you.
All right. I do have Mike Tobin. If you would like to speak, or are you just available for questions?
I'm also available for questions. I'm with Rush Street Gaming. The only comment that I would like to offer is that as it relates to schedule, obviously everything we're telling you is what we're hoping to achieve, but it's all subject to approvals by the Plan Commission, the City Council, and the Virginia Gaming Lottery Board. So we have a lot of approvals yet to be granted before we can commit to a final schedule of construction. But we hope to meet the dates that Steve has talked about.
Thank you, Mr. Tobin. And also I have Delcino Miles, if she's on the call, available for any questions or would like to make comments.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you. I'm here just to take questions, but just wanted to let the commission know that we have a very robust community engagement effort going on. We are working with various stakeholders throughout the Portsmouth community. We're actually partnering with TCC as well as the Hampton Roads Workforce Council for the next job information forum that will be taking place later this month. And we had a very successful vendor fair where we had over 850 participants in that fair for contractors. And we are certainly committed to the 30% goal for minority and small businesses. So we are working very closely with the various stakeholders, the civic leagues, and the business community as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miles. And finally, I have Brett Schrecker. If you're on the line, or are you available for questions, or you have some additional comments? Okay, no Brett. Okay, Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there is anyone else on the line who did not get an opportunity to register and would like to address this application, you may come forward at this time, state your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed. We need a motion.
This is Sherry Thaxton. I'd like to make a motion to approve Z-21-01, and I believe there were conditions.
This is Ocasio G. I second that.
Point of order, Madam Chair, Madam Secretary, this is a rezoning, there's no conditions.
Yes, sir, ma'am, thank you.
I realize.
Okay, we have Mr. Chairman, are you still there?
We now have a motion to approve UP-21-05. It is properly motioned and second. Madam Secretary.
Okay. No, we're not on UP-2105. Now we're on Z-2101.
Looking at the wrong sheet.
It's okay.
We have a motion to approve Z-21-01 Victory Village. We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion and a second to approve Z-21-01. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood?
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton?
Yes.
Commissioner G?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes?
Yes.
This item Z-21-01 is approved by a vote of 6-0. Our next item, UP-21-06 Victory Village. Stephen R. Romine, on behalf of the Economic Development Authority, is requesting a use permit for a casino gaming establishment on the approximately 38.74 acre property at 3560 Victory Boulevard, 0 Campus Drive, 0 Victory Boulevard, 0 Village Way, 111 Campus Drive, and 3606 Victory Boulevard in the high intensity mixed use MUH zoning district. The future land use map of the Build One Portsmouth comprehensive plan designates this property for the mixed use employment. The property is owned by Economic Development Authority and is further described as tax map 524, parcel 1.2, parcel 1.9, parcel 2.1, parcel 2.2, parcel 2.3, parcel 2.4, parcel 2.5, parcel 3, parcel 3.4, and parcel 3.5. The staff coordinator is Julie Chop. Will you come forward, please, and present your application at this time?
Hello again, Planning Commissioners. This is Julie Chop, Senior Planner with the City of Portsmouth. Stephen R. Romine, on behalf of the Portsmouth EDA and Portsmouth Gaming Holdings LLC, is requesting a use permit for a casino gaming establishment on the approximately 56.916 acre property previously referred to as Victory Village in the high-intensity mixed-use zoning district. The applicant is concurrently requesting a rezoning of their area to an entertainment overlay district. This use permit approval is contingent upon approval of rezoning Z-2021-01 for the property. Much of the pertinent information for this application is identical to the rezoning Z-21-01 application and was already presented. Phase 1 of the two-phase project, the approximately 80,000 square foot casino gaming establishment building, is proposed for the northwestern area of the site and includes 55,567 square feet of area dedicated to the casino gaming uses with 1,890 gaming positions, a 20,000 square foot event center, and remaining square footage dedicated to retail and dining. The casino will contain an event center with a 42,000 square foot attached event lawn area for the total event area of 62,000 square feet. The casino and hotel are proposed to operate 24 hours per day and are expected by the applicant to employ approximately 1,300 employees. The zoning ordinance requires off-street parking for a casino gaming establishment to be provided at a ratio of not less than 0.75 parking spaces for each gaming position. The required parking for the proposed 1,890 gaming positions is 1,418 parking spaces. The proposal includes 2,055 parking spaces, which exceeds the required parking for all of the included uses. The project also proposes to utilize valet parking and has demonstrated that the valet parking will comply with the valet parking standards in the city's zoning ordinance. The casino building will be verified for compliance with the zoning ordinance standards for large commercial development during the site plan review process. Staff has recommended several conditions for this use permit to ensure compliance with the required off-site road improvements, compliance with the state regulations for operation of a casino gaming establishment, compliance with the adopted entertainment overlay master plan, and substantial conformity with the conceptual master plan and elevations. Staff recommends approval of the applicant's use permit request with the recommended conditions. The proposed development is consistent with the city's future land use plans and will be compatible with the surrounding land uses. This concludes my presentation, and I will stand by for any questions.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any questions for Ms. Chop. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have no questions.
Commissioner G?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Coleman?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Barnes?
I have no questions.
Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the public hearing on item UP-21-06. Citizens will be called upon to provide comments or questions and are asked to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments and to mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Will the applicant for UP-21-06 come forward to provide any additional information or comments? State your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak.
Good afternoon again, Chairman Williams, members of the Planning Commission. For the record, my name is Steve Romine. I'm a local attorney. I represent Portsmouth Gaming Holdings and the Economic Development Authority in this use permit request for a casino gaming establishment. It's UP 2106. Again, Julie did an excellent presentation. I'll try not to be redundant, but I'll just hit some of the highlights to set this up. The request for UP 2106 is actually for 38.74 acres of the 56.916 acre entertainment district. So that's been shown on the plat that you saw in your packet as well. Just to rehash a little bit, the zoning ordinance again was amended last year in September. In September, City Council established the Entertainment Overlay District and also allowed casino gaming establishment within the MUH zoning district. Portsmouth Gaming Holdings was named the city's preferred national developer. They entered into an agreement with the Economic Development Authority as well. On November 3rd, the city resoundingly voted in favor of the referendum by a 2/3 vote. So there was overwhelming support for this project. In December, we were able to rezone the properties to the MUH district. And just immediately prior to this application, you took action on the rezoning to the entertainment district. Julie did a pretty good job of explaining the casino project. It's in your packet, but obviously it's positioned on 38.74 acres. Will include the casino, restaurants, the event center, parking, and related amenities. Let me just state again that this has something for everyone. It is an entertainment district, and the casino will definitely be the driver and the engine. The elevations are in your packet. In fact, one of the elevations is on the screen in front of you. A very beautiful building and one I think that Portsmouth can be proud of. There are 10 conditions for this use permit. The first condition is the vacation of certain interior lot lines, which we are accomplishing at this time. We talked about the VDOT 527 plan that addresses road improvements so that traffic can be handled and managed. We also mentioned that we can't move forward until we get the Virginia Lottery license. Other than that, I think the conditions are pretty straightforward. And Mr. Chairman, the conditions are acceptable to the applicant. With that, I would ask that you recommend approval to City Council of UP 2106, and we'll stand by for questions. Thank you for your time.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have questions for Mr. Romaine. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have no questions.
Commissioner G?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Coleman?
No questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Barnes?
No question.
Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item UP-21-06. If there is someone on the call who would like to address this application, you may come forward at this time, state your name and your address, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Just for point of reference, I have the ones that spoke earlier. I will call your name individually, and if you would like to speak on this application, you may do so. If you would like to provide further comment, the first person is Dr. Marcia Constant.
Madam Secretary, she has left the meeting.
She's gone, okay. The next person is Sean Avery.
Yes, he's gone as well.
He's gone also. Randy Royal.
Just here for questions still.
Okay, and Mike Tobin
Also just here for questions.
and Delcino Miles.
Just here for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there is anyone else here on the call who would like to address this application, you may come forward, state your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, is there any further discussion? If not, we are in need of a motion and a second. Commissioners, before making the motion, please identify yourself.
This is Peter Youngblood. I'd like to make a motion that we approve UP-21-06 with conditions.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Sherry Thaxton, I'll second.
Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second to approve UP-21-06 with conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion and second to approve UP-21-06. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood,
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton,
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Barnes.
Yes.
Okay,
We didn't get Commissioner G.
I missed G, Commissioner G. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you this time, Regina. It's a yes for me as well.
Okay. Is Commissioner Coleman back on? I don't see her.
Yeah, looks like we lost her.
We lost
Oh, wait,
her.
hold on, stand by.
Okay. Okay, I see her coming in. She go out again. Okay. Okay. Commissioner Coleman?
Yes,
Yes. Okay, you're voting for the UP-2106.
yes, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, this item is approved by a vote of 6-0 with conditions. Okay, our next item, UP-21-07 Victory Village. Stephen R. Romine, on behalf of the Economic Development Authority, is requesting a use permit for a full-service hotel on the approximately 38.74 acre property at 3560 Victory Boulevard, 0 Campus Drive, 0 Victory Boulevard, 0 Victory Way, 111 Campus Drive, and 3606 Victory Boulevard in the high intensity mixed use MUH zoning district. The future land use map of the Build One Portsmouth comprehensive plan designates this property for the mixed use employment. The property is owned by the Economic Development Authority and is further described as tax map 524, parcel 1.2, parcel 1.9, parcel 2.1, parcel 2.2, parcel 2.3, parcel 2.4, parcel 2.5, parcel 3, parcel 3.4, and parcel 3. The staff coordinator is Julie Chop. Will you please come forward and present your application at this?
Hello, this is Julie Chop, Senior Planner with the City of Portsmouth. The applicant is also requesting a use permit for a full-service hotel on the approximately 56.916 acre property previously referred to as Victory Village within the high-intensity mixed-use zoning district. The applicant is concurrently requesting a rezoning of the area to an entertainment overlay district with application Z-21-01. This use permit approval is contingent upon approval of rezoning Z-21-01 for the property and will require a separate vote. The full-service hotel is proposed to include 250 rooms of varying sizes and capacities and will primarily service the casino and related uses. The square footage of the hotel is undetermined at this time as the development is in the preliminary planning stage. The casino and hotel are proposed to operate 24 hours per day and are expected by the applicant to employ approximately 1,300 employees. The hotel is proposed to be approximately 180 feet tall, which complies with the 200-foot maximum height for buildings within an entertainment overlay district. The required parking for the full-service hotel is 250 parking spaces. The proposal includes 2,055 parking spaces, which exceeds the required parking for all of the included uses. The zoning ordinance contains use-specific standards for full-service hotels. A full-service hotel must include 4 of the following features: room service, complimentary breakfast, a pool, fitness room, eating establishment, lounge with live entertainment, meeting or banquet rooms, or personal services. The application supplemental letter states that the hotel will satisfy the requirements for a full-service hotel, having at least the following amenities: room service, eating establishment, lounge with live entertainment, and meeting or banquet rooms. Recommended conditions are also included for the use permit for the full-service hotel. Typically, a use permit approval becomes void 2 years after the date of City Council approval, and the applicant has the ability to request a 1-year extension. However, in accordance with the zoning ordinance and state code, City Council has the ability to specify a longer or shorter time period for the automatic expiration of a use permit. The applicant is requesting a 6-year term for the full-service hotel use permit. This 6-year time period has been included as a condition of the approval by request of the applicant. Staff recommends approval of the applicant's use permit request for a full-service hotel with the recommended conditions. The proposed development is consistent with the city's future land use plans and will be compatible with the surrounding land uses. This concludes my presentation, and I will stand by for any questions.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any additional questions for Ms. Chop. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood.
Yes, sir. My only question, Julie, have you gotten any comments from the neighbors about this full service hotel?
To my knowledge, no comments were received from the public.
Thank you.
Commissioner Thaxton.
No questions.
Commissioner G.
Well, as a follow-up to Mr. Youngblood's question, there wouldn't be any residential neighbors that would have gotten notification of this, right? They would have only got it through the city postings or through the public postings?
So included in your staff report packet, the addresses and the property owners that were notified are included on a map in that. I'm not sure if there were any residential properties included.
I believe the Cavalier Civic League was notified.
Right.
Yeah, they were included on the list, but I don't believe that I'm not sure if there are any particular residential properties that were notified.
Understood. Commissioner Coleman.
Question.
Commissioner Coleman. Commissioner Barnes.
I have no question.
Okay, sorry. Commissioner Barnes.
No question.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the public hearing on UP-21-07. Citizens will be called upon to provide comments or questions and are asked to verbally identify yourself prior to making comments and to mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Will the applicant for UP-21-07 come forward to provide any additional information or comments? State your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak.
Again, good afternoon, Chairman Williams, members of the Planning Commission. For the record, my name's Steve Romind, local attorney with an address at 999 Waterside Drive, Norfolk, Virginia. I'd like to thank the chair for his diligence today, and I'd like to thank Julie Chop for her presentation. I'll endeavor not to be repetitive on this UP-2107, but this is a separate request for a use permit for the full service hotel. As we indicated earlier, the project will be developed in phases. Phase 1 will cover the casino and the event center, restaurants, and other amenities. Phase 2 will include the full service hotel. As Julie indicated, the western facade of the casino is subsequent to phase 1, but in the drawing on your slide in front of you, you'll see the high-rise hotel as incorporated into the casino project. So that's what's been planned, and that's what we expect to build. The hotel tentatively will have 250 rooms. The square footage is to be determined. It will operate on a 24-hour basis, just like the casino. The overall project is going to have about 1,400 construction jobs, 1,300 permanent jobs, and some of those will obviously be in the hotel as well. We expect the hotel to be less than 200 feet in height. Right now, it's planned at 180 feet. The parking is sufficient to service the hotel pursuant to our plan, and the FDOT 527 plan also anticipates road improvements that would address that parking and that traffic. The zoning that we submitted has 2,055 parking spaces, so we believe sufficient amount of parking to handle that traffic. As Julie mentioned, to be a full-service hotel, you have to provide certain amenities. Clearly, on our hotel, we plan at a minimum room service, eating establishment, a lounge with live entertainment, and meeting rooms. There may be other amenities as well. The hotel will exceed 60,000 square feet, may approach 150,000 square feet, and will fully comply with the zoning ordinance. I won't repeat what's in your packet, but there's more information in there about the hotel if you want to look at that. We do have one of the conditions as the permit expires within 6 years if we don't start construction. I wanted to conclude very briefly this presentation where I started with the first presentation and the slide deck that we provided with you yesterday. We believe this project has something for everyone. It has gaming, it has a Bet Rivers sports book, it has indoor and outdoor event center. We really haven't talked about the lawn feature out in front of the lake that's going to provide for outdoor entertainment. There's going to be dining and entertainment, and there's going to be a hotel. Secondly, we believe that Rush Street and Portsmouth Gaming provides a great place to work. People start their careers here, they stay there for a long time. We've been voted the best place to work and a top workplace in all the markets that we have facilities. And as Delcino mentioned, we have a strong commitment to diversity. We also believe it will provide a strong engine to the market and to Portsmouth. We believe $16 million in annual taxes will come to Portsmouth by way of the casino and property taxes and sale and use taxes. We also believe through strategic partnerships that there's going to be a $300 million investment in this project that will generate a $200 million annual impact going forward. So a very substantial impact in the area. Thirdly, we are a proud community partner. We partner with residents, nearby businesses, and we are committed to our communities where we are. And lastly, we believe that the entertainment district, with the casino being a component of it, will provide a great place to play. It's going to provide places to have weddings, outdoor, dining, entertainment events on the lawn, destination things for people to do. So we just think it's going to be an overall terrific place to visit, a terrific place to play. And I know on behalf of Portsmouth Gaming Holdings, very excited to become part of the Portsmouth community. Mr. Chairman, thank you for your time today, and we'll stand by for any additional questions. We also ask that you recommend approval of UP 2107. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Romaine. Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any additional questions. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have no question.
Commissioner G?
I have one question. I know the reference was 250 rooms. Will there be convention space as well? Or is that something that would fall, I know this is one of those gray areas, would that fall over to the casino portion that we approved earlier?
Well, we really call it event center space, Mr. G, and there'll be significant event center space provided in the facility. We have indoor and outdoor event center space. We have a 42,000 square foot lawn. I think we'll have at least 20,000 square feet of event center facilities within the building. So we don't really have a conference center per se, but we do have event center space.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Barnes?
I have a question. So, have you ever had to pull out of the hotel contract because of lack of revenue from the casino?
I think I might ask Mr. Tobin to address that question because it really relates to our other facilities. I believe the answer is no, but I think he might be able to give us better insight into.
The answer is no. We have a hotel operating at our facility in New York. We have one under construction in our facility in Pittsburgh that will be opening next year. and we have never closed down a hotel.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Secretary?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing on item UP-21-07. Mr. Chairman, we still have Randy Royale, Mike Tobin, and Delcino Miles on the line available if the commission have any questions for them. And if there is someone else on the line who would like to address this application, you may come forward at this time, state your name and your address for the record, and you will be given up to 5 minutes to speak. Appearing to be none, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, this public hearing is now closed.
Commissioners, is there any further discussion? If not, we are in need of a motion and a second. Commissioners, before making a motion, please identify yourself. And we are voting on UP-21-07 with conditions.
This is Commissioner G. I move for approval of UP-21-07 with conditions.
Is there a second?
This is Commissioner Barnes. I second.
Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motions and seconds to approve UP-21-07 with conditions. Commissioners, as I call your name, please reply with a verbal response. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Youngblood?
Yes.
Commissioner Thaxton?
Yes.
Commissioner G?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes?
Yes.
This item is approved 6-0 with conditions.
Madam Secretary, I believe that concludes our agenda for today. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Commissioners, I will call each of your names to see if you have any additional items that we need to discuss. I have none. Commissioner Youngblood?
I have none.
Commissioner Thaxton?
I have none.
Commissioner G?
None today, sir.
Commissioner Coleman?
No, sir.
Commissioner Barnes?
None at this time.
Mr. Barnes, Mr. Baldwin, is there any further business?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman, there's not.
I appreciate you all. Hearing none, this meeting is now adjourned.